about this?
We was told that if we will learn use Redux, it will be very easy to learn Redux, to cover Redux, but
I know that Redux is very similar to context API. It just like stores somewhere on the memory the general information, and it shares between the separate components in the tree.
So, Sarina, you know context, right?
In general, about Redux, not yet.
Like context in React. Okay.
It was me.
Redux, you guys, no, I was asking to Sarina. I know you talked it. So have you guys already learned Redux, or are you guys starting?
I just started reading the documentation, the first page.
Okay, so let me guys overall explain, right? For example, in React, for example, this website is built using React, right? For example, here, if you click like what part has to be refreshed, right? And for example, active tab, right? Active tab, it means I'm storing somewhere, right? Or here, like active user, I'm storing somewhere, right? And if you guys see a lot of information, like practice, if I do this, okay, let me refresh, so I can go back to my own page. So if you guys select practice, for example, here I'm showing if I finish, if I have done this things, it is showing check mark. And if I select, for example, if I select, then based on situation, this is previous and the next one is changing, right? And if you click, if you all of the submitted, then asking to show say text answer. So a lot of data we are storing, right, in React application. So all that data at the end is called a state. So state means, for example, what is the water state? State of water? State of more like H2O. What is this? What are the states of H2O in nature?
What was the question?
What are the states of H2O of water? What is the what are the states
it's
of water?
snow, ice, and steam. Yeah.
Yeah. So it is either like, so it's gas, right?
Yeah.
Liquid,
solid,
or
yeah.
solid, right? So there are the three states of water. So it means, but water cannot be all of three at the same time. So somewhere, right? If you do somewhere, it will be something like this, right? For example, if I'm storing it, then water, for example, like something like, so current state of water is gas, right? So like that, every data in the website, for example, even though the value of this, right? So value of this I'm storing somewhere. So in JavaScript DOM, you don't have that kind of things. Right? In JavaScript DOM, you don't have that kind of things. So how do you do it? If you want to change, if you want to check the value of something, for example, if you want to check, okay, what is the name of this get frequent, right? If you want to know this in JavaScript, you literally go there, like document get element by ID, right? Or using select that you go there and then you read this data and then you update. So to do that, you are going to that specific DOM. And jQuery is also like that. And in React, the whole data, for example, even like list of menus, the whole data could be stored as raw data. and in to these components you pass that data, so you could render. So if you want to check something, you don't need to come to this DOM. You know that it's already on React's memory, right? React's memory inside the state. So that state, you can go and then you can use it. So how do you update your data in React?
With
Using use state.
state, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it's good. So I also suggest guys to go on this. So let me. I have a class, but I want to go from here. So in React before, we used to have like we didn't have hooks. You guys already learned hooks right now, right? You guys doing with things with hooks. And hooks at then, what is this? Just a function, right? So just a function and it returns. So it depends on then whatever inside return, you just keep writing kind of HTML, right? And what was the name for this kind of language? What is the name?
XML.
JSX.
JSX, right? So this is in React, that's JSX. So in React, good thing is you can create like one small component and then you keep using that component. For example, check here. So this one line is a component, right? One line is a component, and then I just kept using that component. Or even like this box is a component, or like, let's go to course. So if you see if this is a component, I'm just passing to that component. This is a title, this is an icon. So component is not changing, just the data is changing, right? Because React is at the end, it's all about the components. So we have using with the JSX, so style, right? You could use a style. And when you guys use a style, there are different kind of style. Let's talk about different ways of adding style into a project. Go ahead, guys. How do you add style into a project?
We can create a different file for styles, export that file, import. Or we can just use it straight in that tag, like using keyword style. It's in
Okay,
React.
so or like if this kind of so one of the way to use styles in a project is inline style, right?
Yeah.
And inline styles, you just put, for example, if it is a component, you just keep writing your style and then keep writing it there. So now tell me, guys, what is the, okay, so we have inline style, and then what is the next one?
With selectors. No.
So this is using CSS. You can say like you can like separate like CSS file and then use it like this. Okay. So you could use inline style. You could use just like external CSS, right? And React, you could also do
With the style property.
so in the React there's like that's called like
15 line.
yeah. So this is can also inline. So if you're using this, then it means it's an inline style. Okay. So React. So inline style, normal CSS, and so CSS in GS. So the current one here, the one that we showed is this. So this is the normal CSS. and this is inline CSS. Sorry, CSS in GS. What was it? Oh, yeah. Heading styles. Yeah, so here you're adding style, and then your value is coming from JavaScript, which is React. So user. So you can even store data in JavaScript. And what is the user? Do I have user here? No. Okay. So that is called CSS in GS. So you are using CSS but using JavaScript. Okay? You can also like style components, CSS modules, and eventually like Sass list. And you guys will have you guys started doing classes with Said internship?
No.
But when you start working with him, so in there are different ways of for interviews, you guys should know it. Okay. Yeah, for interview preparation, you come back, but I just want to give you overall heads up. Different things. Okay, continue. So you guys know conditional rendering, right? If this, that, then that's that. And use it here.
Yeah, we do.
Okay. And rendering is because it's by as I said again, you could like store data, right? The whole data will be like every data details will be here, and then using that data, you just do like map, and inside you provide your component. And for example, this is how here I'm using the same technique. If you guys see here, in fact, I'm using like nested components, right? For example, if you see like this pre-bootcamp is one component, right? But overall, if you see this section is one bigger component, and under that component, I have like subcomponents, right? Like header and then boxes. So if you see here, like when overall like pre-bootcamp, web fundamental, and
Marat, did you make
yeah,
this website?
yeah.
Let's go.
If you guys see, each one has like I just have like this kind of like data, like a JavaScript fundamental, and then React.js, JavaScript fundamental, React.js. And if I change this, then I don't know if it works right now, but let me see. So technically, this is the data, and then this is dynamically rendering those data. For example, this is intro to React. Yeah, if you guys see, I'm saying like this intro to React, and if I want to change the extra, like okay, I'm adding like okay, So I'm even saying that, okay, start day 45. So I'm saying in the beginning, you guys don't have access, right? To React, not to this, right? Or you do, maybe right now you didn't, but the goal was you shouldn't have access to React part, for example, in projects. Course, yeah, you shouldn't have access to this. Visible, but not clickable. And I could provide this kind of data. And with technically, this will be using like properties. So when you guys start working, you guys will have this kind of project. You wouldn't be starting from zero. Well, even though you guys start from zero, but when you start working on a React project, you guys will have this kind of project. Okay, so in the beginning, you guys should learn how that project is working. You guys already created. How you guys creating a new React project?
We use React with usually.
With, mhm.
So
Yeah.
after
So that will just. I haven't executed this local for a long time, so it's saying some kind of error. I had to like fix things. So in React, this is a package JSON, right? And package JSON has like dependencies. Don't worry about the resolution dependencies. So main thing would be here like start. So when you do, are you guys using Yarn or npm?
npm.
Yeah, npm or Yarn there, right? So so these are the package managers. Package managers more like they manage packages. For example, what is a package? Like this kind of like starting, stopping, and then restarting, like building, those kind of things. So React has under script. So when you type like npm start, right? npm, do you guys say npm start or npm
Run.
run, right? Yeah, because so npm yarn, and you will have technically this kind of code will be getting executed. So for example, here I'm executing like yarn in your code. It will be like smaller one, but yarn is similar to npm. Npm run tailwind. So tailwind. Do you guys know Bootstrap?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys know Bootstrap. You guys know Material UI, right?
Yeah.
Bootstrap is just CSS, HTML CSS framework, and then Material UI is CSS
The same
framework for
thing.
React, right? For React. And Tailwind, there are a lot of different kind of, each company may use different kind of things, but then just like a Bootstrap, Tailwind is a popular. I use that one in this project. So in Tailwind, at the end, this will be like a similar thing. You can just, for example, good thing here is like, yeah, you can just keep typing like classes. I mean, you can type classes anywhere, but this class is a little bit easy to understand. For example, font medium, like font small, like rounded. Well, if you keep changing the like, so for example, PT6, like so it will be easier to add classes. So that's why some companies use this kind of CSS frameworks. And you guys will be using them at work. And when you start preparing interviews, you'll go. So please, you have this kind of CSS project now, and then you'll have dependencies, right? You'll have dependencies here. If you see, I have a lot of dependencies. So you don't need to know every dependency. For example, date is related to date. Like I'm using Material UI, right? For example, Monaco editor. So I wanted to build this practice. So people could here type, right? And then kind of write code. And then when they run, I should get that code. And I was looking for, it seems like there is this kind of editor. So people built this kind of editors and released to this npm.js package. You can just say like React editor, you see like different kind of things, and you could install like this. So there are a lot of like small libraries. So for example, you don't need to reinvent wheel. Right? If you're building a car, you don't need to build the wheel yourself from the beginning, right? I mean, you just need to check if it is if I can buy it or if it is free. You just get it and then using it, because your goal is not reinvent the wheel, but your goal is to build the project. So just like that, when you're building a project, if you want specific type of like problem you want to solve, for example, I want an editor, then I searched, I checked which editor would be better, and let's check out the demo. Yeah, so here guys, you can see like you right, you can provide the theme, right? And if you see, I'm using the same thing, so that's why I just use that in here. So just like that, you can use this kind of libraries in your project. And then keep continuing. And a lot of also like different kind of things. But whenever you need something, then you'll just import. When you import, here you will see that dependency means it's a library which you need to run this project. Like what is a library? Library then just a set of code, right? Like a bunch of like JavaScript code, and then they create a package and they do specific thing. For example, Airbnb calendar, like React. For example, maybe did this kind of like a calendar, and you could like select days. So for example, just to do this part, I have they build it and then they provide it. Okay, we built it internally, we need it, and now they're just putting public. So at work, if you want to, let's say you want to build something like that, you could just use that open free ones, open source ones, and then implement those components into your code. Of course, it wouldn't work if you just copy paste. So you have to understand, like, okay, for example, like props, right? You see, like, okay, which prop? So you just need to, can you see the code? Yeah. That's too. So yeah, you'll be using this kind of components in React on top of like you built yourself. Okay. So responding to event, like you guys know how to adding clicks, right? Updating screen. So use state. So they change it, like React is also like improving. Like when I start, well, I mean, use state is also new. When I say new, maybe like a couple of years, like 3-4 years, maybe. So use state. So you guys are how you guys know what to do, right? Here, you guys following fully, no question, right? Especially here.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So in JavaScript, how would you do it? In JavaScript, if you would again handle click, right? In JavaScript, you in, for example, in React, when you click the button, right? For example, when you click the button, this if you see, React is you are just updating your value. For example, you created count, right? And then you just updating the new value. And then React is saying, I will handle how to update. Because in JavaScript, we would do document get element by ID, and then provide that the data, provide that ID, and then that inner HTML or inner text is equal to new value, right? Here, we didn't do that. React handles itself. So that's why React is faster. Okay, so just simple basic ones. Here it shows. So you guys all know props, right? How to use props, how to pass props, and what is the difference between props and states?
So props we can send only for the children's, like that to down level, and states. In this case, we can send up like to parent. It's only one way, one like difference, and
I see what you're saying, but you're saying a little bit different. So
okay.
yeah. Somebody try it.
The props are changing every time at the initializing it and passing, like it's destructuring the branch and then structuring it again. But the states are like stays every time. They are not updating until you refresh the page. Yeah, am I right?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. So prop is so every time when you re-render, right? Every time you render, prop is also changing. If it's re-render step, state is also changing. Yeah. Sarina?
Props is property that we use in child components, and use state we are creating in the main component, and then we can send this information through props to our children components, and then use there.
Okay, so you guys all are telling right, and so difference between props and state. State you can change, props you cannot change, right? Because the props is
Yes.
coming, prop is not changeable. So what's the technical term for it? But I'm losing right now.
Mutable
for
and
example, here-
immutable?
Yes, in the beginning I was thinking that one. Then we talk. I lost. So thank you. I was gonna ask then my next question to you. No, no. So it came right time. Yes. So props. Go ahead one more time. Say again. Difference state and props. Difference.
Oh, props are immutable. Meanwhile, state is mutable because we can update the state. We can
Yeah.
use sets. Yes.
So guys, during interviews, like they will be expecting you to use this kind of technical terms, right? You can say yeah, props you cannot change that's fine, but if you provide like more like technical terms like mutable, right? So mutable, immutable means like you can change, you cannot change, but a technical term software engineering. So that's good. Thank you. Okay. And props we use to change, right? For example, I could show my code again here where I'm changing it. So let me, you guys all know, so let me just go over my project code. Okay, so here, if you guys use, I have a app context on top of everything, okay? And then the style provider, and then I'm adding that Redux store. I'm adding the authentication because not everybody should go to all pages. So I'm just wrapping all everything, and then freeze up, and then eventually this is the only thing. So if you guys see, like here, this is the app.js. You guys, if it is like overwhelming, that's okay, but I believe you guys could do it. So store. So as I said again, guys, here a lot of data, right? A lot of data, like okay, like states. So we don't. When you have this kind of complex big project, you don't want to use. You don't want to keep using hooks because hooks for local components, right? I mean, you can still create hooks and then pass, but reducer, ideally Redux would be good to use in complex, larger projects. Even hooks is not enough for complex projects. If your project is like a small self-learning small project, you can still use hooks, but for bigger projects, Redux. So let's see what is store, how I'm importing, where that store is coming from. Store is coming from here. So I can so in React project at work, guys, you guys should able to like follow this. Okay, for example, if you like click like command and then click store, now I am inside store. And you don't need to know everything though, right? Because a lot of places more like boilerplate code that you don't need to remember, or you don't need to know, just it's just a system. And usually like senior developers would do it. You just need to know where to focus, like configuring, blah, blah, blah. Okay, storage auto, just more like high level configuration. And I have here like a reducer. Okay, so I have like a dashboard reducer, and dashboard reducer is here. I have like a user reducer and then projects. If I go projects, so this is my reducer. Nice. So I'm getting all projects, so I'm getting like submitted projects, right? I'm getting like grade homeworks. I haven't had like video upload. So this kind of like so you don't need to create a new project using Redux, but at work you may need to understand high level things, how it's going, and then add new functions. For example, like it's saying set all projects, set recording. You should see one code, right? And if you don't know, then if you don't understand more in detail, you just need to put debugger, run the code, and when there comes, you could see the result. So I'm creating all these reducer related things, and I'm just adding into here. So let's go main. So this is, what is this, guys?
Router.
Router, right? React router. So if you guys see, I have course / course ID, or courses. So I have, or you can even go like courses. So this is so here I'm saying that if path is courses, then go to React courses component, right? If it is DS, yeah, it seems like DS is also same right now. Or this kind of courses, course ID, sub ID. For example, if you go specific course, if you guys see courses, course ID, sub ID. So you will create that React router. So let's go that courses component. What is going on? So a lot of things, don't worry, but you can just, I'm using also like, what was this? What kind of CSS is this?
Inline.
No,
No, JavaScript, yeah.
CSS in JS.
Yeah.
Okay, CSS in JavaScript. Yeah, you could use that. And yeah, I have like props, and I'm creating like state, blah, blah, is admin, checking his mentor. because I want to show a different UI based on if that person is a student, mentor, or admin. And here, what is this use effect, guys? Have you guys learned use effect?
Yeah.
What is this use effect?
Hook.
Okay.
It's
Hook.
So here we have a dispatch as a dependencies. If dispatch was changed, this effect is rendering
Okay, but what is use effect overall?
overall.
It used for the background
So maybe you guys read
computations.
like if you guys read a blog or something else, there usually says that use effect is for you can handle like
Fetching.
fetching like side effect style functionalities, right?
Yeah.
But overall, use effect is it's a place where you hit APIs. Okay. So for example, when I fresh, if I go this specific page, course page, and even before I start my project or before I start rendering, before I start rendering, for example, here says category. Yeah, this is category. And then I have this inside, I have list of category. And but where that data is coming from, right? So what is the value? Value is selected category. What is selected category? Let's see. Selected category is also here, but selected categories use state. Right? Use state, but at the end, if you guys see in the beginning, it's just all. So if I refresh, it should be just, yeah, it's pretty fast, but in the beginning, it will be just all. And somewhere, if you guys see, is effect. So so if this is somewhere, I am setting this. No, sorry, this is selected category. I don't want like that. I want list of categories. Okay, value is this. Okay, yeah, see, yeah. I need this. I'm looking for this. Okay, this is whatever is selected. Okay, this is just one. This is the value. You guys should able to like read. I mean, you will see this kind of like extra things that you haven't seen, but just saying that the extra features for that specific input. So, for example, this is select, and what kind of component is that select? Select is also using this select props. I think either material weight or one of them. So this is all, and then here I have categories. So question is where I am getting these categories. Let's see. Yeah, dispatch get categories. For example, I am to get this dynamic categories. I need to make an API call, and then to get this all of these courses. Okay, all of these courses again. I am making an API call. So I created two API calls. One is for categories and one is for all of these courses. So, but how it is connected, let's talk about that, right? So if I dispatching categories means just calling that function. Why didn't we just call this? Why didn't we just call this? What is the difference between this and versus like dispatching? Why we need dispatch?
It will handle the information which provides the get categories, like the which type and which action. Oh, payload, that things. Yeah.
Yep. Overall, like, cause if I call this function, right, it means I will be just calling this function. But what I want to do is like I call this function and then this function. Okay, let's see. This function, if you see, I'm using Axios application. This is just a function, get categories. I'm like, this is the URL. And I'm responding. Have you guys used Axios? If you guys see, this is just an API call. You guys you use fetch, but Axios also like one of the way to do it. Okay, so you guys build so I'm hitting this API, and whatever data comes, I am responding back to it. So when I say responding back to it, like what do I mean? Like response to what exactly? So if I just call my function, then nothing happens. If I dispatch, then return data will connect it to a Redux, because the dispatch is connecting the result of that data to Redux. And here I am connecting that. I'm making an API call. The data comes, and I'm getting that data, and then storing into a reducer, right? Storing into a reducer. So, and from that reducer, somehow it has to come here, right? So do you guys see somewhere use reducer? If you guys see, I am getting that get categories, get courses, but I also need to have, right? Use selector, or you can look different, but then this is the providing me categories. This is providing me sections. Okay. So I'm hitting it, it's storing to Redux, and then from Redux, it's coming back to. So think about this is just like a use reducer, because when this project was built, like use reducer was not there. So we had to do a little bit differently. Okay. So here you'll be just using use reducer categories, and now you, when you refresh, you hit that API, and you come in and you do that, you render that data. Okay. You render that data, and now all data is there. Again, use memo. Use memos. What is a use memo memoization?
It will not
Why-
create
Mhm.
the function again when you are recreating the component.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, the
it
main
will still
thing
the
is
same. Yeah.
performance. Yeah, main thing is performance. So, I mean, from DOM to regular JavaScript to React, we are improving pretty good, right? Like not to going to DOM, not reaching DOM, but even in React, there will be a lot of like re-rendering is happening. To avoid those, right, we need to improve the performance of the page. So use memo again for performance usage. It doesn't re-render if the values, if props, and then if all data are same, right? So if you don't use memo, all props are coming. If the same data, then every time it just keeps re-rendering. So here, guys, so I have. So I'm filtering data. It seems like why I'm filtering. Let's see. Yeah, so I am filtering data based on which one what to show, not to show. And so this is one inside here. So don't worry about these unnecessary things. I'm not saying unnecessary. For example, this fuse animate group, right? Kind of confusing, but this is you guys able to understand. This is you guys able to understand, right? This is a section title, section name. Yeah, if you guys see, this is section title, section. This is that one. And fuse animate. It's just a component. I didn't build it. I just use it. If I refresh, you guys see animation. It's coming like from bottom to top. Right? It's like better than like just like re-rendering. So to do that, you need to use like just components. You could just wrap it and then use it. So let's focus this. So section course, and each one has its own section that courses. And I'm putting like, okay, if it is height course, if it's like blah, blah, blah. Somewhere you guys remember there was not ready. Yeah, I was not ready, like false. This is a section. I can just change data from here, for example, start date. And here, then I'm just using that logic. Right? Each small things I had to create my own logic, like content, and you just keep building things slowly, guys. So you shouldn't be afraid of building this kind of thing. So when you see, don't get overwhelmed, because it's not easy to build the whole thing from scratch, but slowly you will keep learning it. So in the beginning, as I showed you guys, my suggestion would be like always go to learn how to track a project. Okay, for example, app from app index.js. Okay, index.js, what is going on? Okay, we're installing it, and then this is the main app. Okay, main app is here. Okay, it seems like this is the main app, and main app has, because sometimes when the project is huge, you guys need to know, for example, from the UI, they're asking, can you guys, let's change this, the line, let's change that line a little bit bigger, right? You have to do that. But how do you do that? How do you find out from the code? You can just search by the class, but you cannot find every time. So that's why you have to, in the beginning, you have to slow to understand the project. You have to know the map of that project. So you can say, what is this? Oh, this should be, because I have courses, under courses I have sub courses. So it should be under like my course. So it should be main apps. It's academy. I have like courses, and then courses GS. So it should be somewhere. For example, what are we trying to say? Under section. Yeah, this is the section. Course title. So this is the image, and this is a divider. Yeah, I found right now. So for me, if I want to change every one of this to make it higher, this would be the place. Okay, because in my head, even though I haven't opened this, but for a long time, because I already have a map, a higher level map. Even if not, then I could just go to that route, right? React route, or saying, okay, courses. If it is courses, opening this specific component, and then keep going down. Okay, I just wanted to show this is the like real project. You guys will be working something like that. And first weeks, like we want you guys to understand more in detail, you should go to like package JSON. Package JSON, and then slow, like for example, what is like date.io? Even though you don't know everything, just go over like see what is that what are those libraries that you guys use at work. Okay, so if anything, you could go to their documentation. Dmitry Kovalenko, some Russian guy, Ukrainian guy, from Ukraine guy, did this, and it's pretty popular, so people are using it. There are a lot of like, okay, we know material UI, Axios. For example, if you want to build charts, there's a like chart.js, right? And there's different, there are different kind of components to do it. Yeah, if you, this kind of charts, then you just see documentation and then you use it. Okay. So do you guys have any question overall? The project overall, like this kind of complex projects, how it works?
How do you process the or the Monaco has a compiler inside, like interpreter?
Yeah, so Monaco has that's a good question. So it gives you another.
Oh.
Let me show how I am using Monaco. Editor. So here I'm like typing it and then value on content. Okay, so I am here doing this value. So let's see on. So you guys run the code, you type and then you click run, right? So how it is going on? I can show that part. So let's see what was that run happening. Do we have run here? No. Maybe that's another component. So if I need to search specific component, then I could just go search. Yeah, this was the REPL algorithm. So usually because these folders, I try to remember, I try to get myself more familiar with the code following the component structure. Okay. So this is editor, so run should be here. Yeah, I found it. So if I run, if you guys see on click, I'm execute code. So I'm executing code. I'm getting the current question and I'm getting the test cases. Technically, I'm like testing manual. I'm executing with the code and then current question. So execute code. This is the technical. I'm executing the code, guys. I am executing your code with my own testing. For example, let's see. So what is this underscore?
Don't know.
Yeah, so you'll see this kind of underscore like the Lodash. So in in JavaScript, React, or like in software engineering, you guys will be using. Sorry, you guys will be you will need a lot of like reusable like functions to do that, a lot of different things. So you don't want to keep building every time on your own. So Lodash is good. There's a Lodash and there's also underscore, but right now Lodash is used a lot. You probably you guys will be using at work. Okay, so if you guys may exactly asking like what is Lodash, so let me.
Oh, that's just the name? Dash.
That's library
Like it,
name.
yeah,
Lodash.
and it written like a dash, like
Yeah.
literally.
Literally like Lodash.
I thought it's just some I don't know, like JavaScript thing.
Yeah, this says that. So then it's
Is
just a
it really
library for
allowed?
JavaScript.
Like
Yes.
to name
Yeah,
them?
this is not a lot like that, but this is a lot. Yeah.
Oh, so the
They just put
clone
like
zip is
name.
just a method. Oh, I got.
Clone deep method. Yeah. So just cloning, for example, if you want to deep clone something, yeah, you would need this kind of deep cloning a lot, right? And you don't want to keep doing yourself every time. And so Lodash, okay, site contributes. For example, like yeah, there are a lot of let's see documentation. For example, regular find index, right? Find index is it finds index inside what? Inside array or inside string, but not like nested objects, right? Not like objects in array. And you can use like find index. Find index, you pass data, and then you just call pass your function, like the callback function, right? Or like flatten. If you have like nested, then you could just like flatten. So they have a lot of this kind of functions. For example, like filtering you could do on your own, but Lodash will just helps you to do things faster. Okay, so you guys will be using like that. You guys will be using Lodash at work. I want to show. Yeah, so I okay, get see the answers like for example, if you click any question, if I click, things are changing, right? So this is the like function for this. So of course when project is huge, usually like 5 people, 4 people working in this kind of large projects, you wouldn't be working alone, but slowly you guys will learn it. But main thing is don't get that overwhelmed. Okay. Okay, so that is the project, and you guys know overall like React's thing is, and React the basic React's like what? Hooks, rendering, right? Displaying data, filing, conditional rendering. Those are like just as conditional rendering. I mean, then just an if and else, right? Rendering is also just like using a map. So these things are like pretty straight forward. Okay, guys, and from now on, you just need to practice a lot. So you guys have like a comfortable, and you guys should write code faster. And on your time, like I'll say like read this like blocks, and at the end, number one thing is practice, right? So you guys should start like practicing. Almost all questions I created, and then my goal was specific, or at least my goal was okay, how I had to find this samples, homeworks, practice projects where to practice your specific. For example, there's a light switch. This is just a setting state on and off, right? Or okay, two-way bonding. Displaying user, right? Like you guys should, for example, who are doing those projects, React projects? Have you guys started?
Yeah.
Which types? Oh, the React? Okay.
Yeah. For example,
Mm.
Lorna, it seems like you haven't submitted those projects.
Yes, we're doing them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have how you call that? Access to the repo.
Nice. Okay, yeah, I think the problem was the repo.
Yeah,
So yeah,
but
I
I
have to like
started.
just keep you guys started. Okay, yeah. So like homework's like pretty straightforward, guys, and practice also like top one's pretty straightforward. And from here, you could see like, okay, where are you guys making mistakes, right? Or where you guys not working. So you should be able to use React Router, right? And then like a API. And this kind of bigger projects, of course, this is gone because this was just a link. And you need to practice a lot to the so during interview, you guys, if it is the React project, then you guys will have that kind of thing. They could ask, build me this. So like let's say in 30 minutes, you should be able to build this pretty quickly and then able to tell and then build this. Okay. So you guys should be like ready to this kind of questions. They wouldn't be asking Redux to build this, but they could ask conversational. Okay, what is a Redux? So tell me the difference. Why would you use Redux? Why not context? So this kind of conversational interview, and also it could also like a practice. So you need to do. You should be you need to be ready for both. Okay, so practice, React practice. And projects for resume, we just put like, you guys should have this. Even though you couldn't finish on your own, but in your resume, you guys should have this. I also talked about that before, but you need to have like a Gmail project. You can say, yeah, on my free time, I was just learning a couple new things. So I built this project just to practice my new React's new skills. And I learned this and that. Okay, just for your resume, that's good. Any questions?
No.
Okay. Let's take a break. We'll be
Okay.
back.
Enjoy.
And after the break, then yeah, we will talk more about like React interview style questions. Okay. Okay, I started this. Let's continue like this, like all interview React interview questions. Okay. So React for server-side rendering, right? And it has a virtual DOM than rather than like real DOM. So explain me, guys, what is a virtual DOM? What is the difference between virtual DOM and then real DOM?
The virtual DOM is a light copy of the real DOM, and it renders no the component that like the only what it changes. It's not gonna update the whole DOM. That's why it's a light copy.
Mm-hmm. And why React uses virtual DOM?
Because it's fast. That's
it's
actually the key. Yeah, it's fast.
Yeah. And it has unidirectional data binding or data flow. Data flows from one side to one side. Okay. And it has a reusable component. So React has then like bunch of reusable components. So before React, there was like term like MVC for applications. MVC means model view controller. So view is actual like a component, and then data is like the raw data, right? For example, you have an array, and that is a model, and the view is the component, like JSX component, and then the controller. Controller was like a logic when to render what to do. right? This was the classic MVCs before React, but with React, things are a little bit changing because React is kind of using mixed things. Okay, and overall, you could say that virtual DOM is fast. That's why React is pretty fast, and performance is really good. And React is SEO friendly. And it also allows server-side rendering. So because of server-side, it's SEO friendly. Because, for example, in React, if I refresh, it then when SEO comes, it doesn't click each page just like this. I mean, it clicks, but it doesn't click based on this, right? It SEO searches the files, right? But in React, everything is rendered dynamic. All these components are getting rendered dynamic, so there is no like actual page there. So it's the UI frameworks like React, like Angular, they were not good because data is rendered dynamically, and search engine optimization in Google, like they cannot track those dynamic things. But if you use like server-side rendering, then it helps the SEO a lot. Okay, reusable components, and React has a huge ecosystem of libraries to choose from, which means just like I showed, you will have a lot of libraries, and you just need to keep you just need to choose which library you want to use, and then read their documentation and keep using it. That's why people say that React is not full-blown framework, because to become framework you need to like everything, but React is not like that. For example, Redux is not part of React, right? React is more like a library. You can use React and you can use Redux, or you can use context. So a lot of extra things you can keep using, like total different things. So sometimes like if you're like alone, like there are a bunch of bunch of libraries, like bunch of solutions, you just wouldn't know which one to use, right? And with at work, or when you learn in with us, you will see that, okay, which components are which libraries are using, like for example, why Redux. There are a lot of different kind of things also. We're using like Redux, right? And we're using like this kind of like libraries. So you guys know your state, and all of them are called like in like React hooks. So what are keys in React? Explain me, guys.
It's like IDs for the components,
Yeah.
as I know. So the React can know the difference when you map the array, maybe?
Yeah. So keys, they should be unique. Okay. Keys should be unique, because when you re-render, React also checks that that key. If you give that same key for all of them, then React will struggle. So keys should be unique.
Can we call them attributes? Keys? Can they be like a special type of attribute in React?
Definitely, you can say that, yes. You can say a special type of attribute, yeah, and it needs to be unique. So without keys, React does not understand the order or uniqueness of each element. With keys, React has idea of which particular element was deleted, edited, and added. Okay, so those keys are important. If you have the exact same key, and then if you delete one of them, React wouldn't understand, because which one was deleted, React will struggle to understand. So JSX is a language, right? Then JSX is like a language where you can write HTML inside JavaScript, right? That kind of library. So we have like functional components and then class components. Now, nowadays, functional components start using a lot, because before to make an API call, if you want to use like a state, you should definitely use class components. But now you can also create hooks inside the functional components. So always its functional components are faster, smaller, and then the performance is better. So if you can use functional components, then you should always use functional components. Yeah. So if you guys see, just like a function, right? Like function, and then you're just returning it. So here class is like class, card extends via component, like create super, blah, blah, blah. And now it's not that popular, but you just need to know that there is also class component. You guys know how to handle props, state. So in state, there is a controlled state and uncontrolled state. I think we'll come to that phase. Okay, so virtual DOM, we already talked about this. So this is a regular DOM, and then the virtual DOM, and then updated new virtual DOM. So React just checks every time when you change something. For example, if I change this part, right, things are changing it. And so right now, React is just checking what has changed. And React is comparing its own virtual DOM. So React is comparing everything in just object comparison, right? Not going to DOM, just it has a virtual DOM and then it has a new change data. It just compares and just gets the different and just goes and then change that specific part of it. DOM was like a little bit different. DOM was like re-rendering the whole everything from a game. That's why DOM was really slow. That's why it was introduced virtual DOM. So controlled and uncontrolled components. For example, if you guys know HTML select, right? This is, for example, if I change it, if you see like I'm changing it, but I'm not really storing that the value, right? I'm not storing any like which one has selected right now. I'm not storing anywhere. So that is, if that is the case, then it means that is uncontrolled, for example, here. So input type, so when on change, it is that the value is in state, and then state is sending back. State is saying to input that, hey, this is the new value. In fact, if you do, for example, and you could just remove this value and then on change, right? And if you type in input, then just like HTML, right? It could be right. So if I type, then it just works. So in React, if it is controlled the component, then every time when you type something, you cannot type like this. Every time when you type something, then there's a function. So function is getting that data and then updating, let's say, state, and then the state is passing back to component. And so you will see like, yeah, this input value is coming from state again. So there we are controlling. So you can use both, but usually like a controlled component is like a better for like validations, and then for enforcing like overall, it's easy to find any errors because you know exactly what is going on. But uncontrolled, that the input doesn't have a we're not getting data from state. We are still getting that data, but we're not passing back to it. Yeah, props. That's why props number one is like immutable, better performance than a state, and can be passed to child components. State local scoped, owned by its component, mutable. So side effects. There was one of the interview like recently, and then they were asking about the side effects in React. So in a hook, you can clean side effects, so sometimes you need to know like prop drilling or lifting the state up, right? You guys need to know overall like, for example, like prop drilling or lifting the state up or error boundaries. So my suggestion would be like get a project, okay? Get like one like bigger project, maybe like a React templates. It's good to do like something on your own, and at the same time it is also good to get some React component and then build a system on build a feature on top of that. Okay, because that is that would be, I would definitely do at least one like this. For example, you guys want to build something. For example, this performance, this is also, I didn't do everything from scratch. I got like templates, and then you'll start building that project on top of template. Okay. So my suggestion, like get this kind of template and then build just for you, like build something on the inside of it, or build that specific feature, even though you want to connect APIs, and that'll be good, because you will see you'll learn how to connect things or how things work internal and how are they using it. Okay.
Yeah, cool website.
Yeah. So I would say do those kind of things, guys. So you guys will be, so during interview at the end, you guys should be able to have conversation like this, because they might ask you guys, okay, tell me how were you using style. So at that point, then you have to know what are the different styles, or at least you have to prepare that style that there are this kind of different ways of using style. But in my previous job, I was using like this. I was using Tailwind, I was using Material UI, and then plus CSS and JS, because you should able to like talk and then discuss like that. Because at the end, when you graduate, you guys will have resume, and then resume, you guys will have bullet points. Like I did that, I did this, and like first 10-15 minutes, you guys need to talk about those, right? And you guys need to be confident. And if you don't know what you are talking, you cannot be confident. But you will learn it. So try to learn different kind of libraries. So again, build one like high level YouTube project, and get like one React template, and then build. For example, do you guys remember that I was telling you just build a restaurant, right? A restaurant project or something. So those kind of projects, then you should definitely use like let's say you want to build a restaurant or a moving company or construction company, like just get something like you want to build for somebody. and find that similar template and start and then build that specific part using that template. Then you can publish that one. Okay, for example, you can say like, oh, this is the restaurant I built for that restaurant. I mean, you don't want to build e-commerce because e-commerce, there are a lot of e-commerce. So they would ask why didn't you use Shopify, or why didn't you use it? For example, like I like the media players.
What's it about the e-commerce?
Shopify, because they're already like e-commerces, and what I would do, I mean, I used to live like before, like I would take this kind of music, let's say music, and I just put all of my, let's say 100, or I would put like music, Kyrgyz musics there, and I would say, yeah, I built like music application to our nation, because that's unique. And then now at that point, then you will have more details like, oh, how did you do it exactly? Like, yeah, I did like top rated recently at that, right? Favorites, artist songs. So there should be like one big project that you're able to tell, one big project on your own, and then one big project from your work experience, something professional. So professional, you guys will talk more in detail when you start preparing, okay? But on top of that, you guys need to do one more personal. Any questions?
No.
No? Okay. Okay. What error boundary, guys?
If when we catch the error,
Yeah, it's when
I
we
mean-
catch the error. For example, in React, if error happens, for example, if it is like render. So error boundary is like it's a component to catch errors. And then you just wrap your component and your application, the whole application. And if any error happens, when I say any error, like a rendering error, if any error happens, then you just, oh, something won't happen. It's more instead of like, because in React, while it's rendering, if any error happens, then it just fails, right? Like red button, but you don't want to show that kind of UI to users. So you need to gracefully fail it, which means you have to create a fallback, and that's called like error boundaries to
like
catch
suspense,
renders.
suspense.
Suspense is
It's when
different,
it's
right?
loading, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so like the suspense solves the different problem, but the usage will more or less similar. Yeah. So while it is loading the whole everything, then it just shows the loading situation. But in error boundaries, if it fails, to render. Then it shows that it's more like in the beginning, you guys know, like photo page, like something not like that, but people sometimes it's just like this kind of errors when you go to the web page, right? Of course, the idea is like similar rather than like failing, like red error, failing, you can say at least helpful message to, I mean, this is the whole page, but in React, you could also like specific part of the page also. Yeah. And yeah, this is, even though you don't know everything overall, like the ones that you use, like use register, you have to know, like use ref. Overall, you guys need to know, okay? Even though you don't use it, but you guys need to know what is that. Boundaries. Yeah, so hooks, that is the focus good. You guys already start using hooks, and the rest will be, yeah, more like performance style things, but yeah, like how the different ways to style React component, inline styling, like JavaScript objects. What are the different ways to improve the performance? So yeah, we'll keep learning this. So my suggestion would be, it's good that we don't have that many people, so we could serve you guys more like better, especially when you guys